Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to
right
get
now,
your mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Hit subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Revin, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things. You know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world, blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brian Redman, and yes, we are back to continue the conversation about Joe Biden and his $30 million for crack kits. I guess that's what you call them. I don't know. But the link is in the description box for the StreamYard. Y'all can click that and jump on in. And also it's in the chat. Y'all feel free to do that, and we'll get this show underway. I don't know if we'll be here for an hour or so. But what I did want to do, I just wanted to talk about pretty much, just to bring everybody up to speed who may not have been in on Tommy's show. And shout out to Tommy for just trusting me to have this conversation. I appreciate that, brother. It means a lot to me. The fact that he would, put me on like that just for us to have this conversation, which means he has some confidence in me having this conversation. And that means a lot to me. So I don't care if it's 440 or 400,000 people watching this. It's about having the conversation, which is what I care about the most, and that's just one of the reasons why I like being able to do what it is that I do, to give everybody an opportunity to pretty much come out and just give their points of views, because I believe that everybody has something to say, and having a platform like this gives you the opportunity to say it. So, like I said, the link is in the description box. It's also been posted in the chat. Please feel free to call in, but while we're doing that, I did want to just, go ahead and just make a couple of points here. Talking about, when we were talking about on the show previously about the government and their plan as far as what they're doing as to why they're doing it. And I think a lot of times we as the American people, we have this thing to where we don't assume or even begin to entertain the worst. We try to always think, oh, well, they wouldn't do that. Oh, well, I would never think that our government would do something like this. But that's not always the case. I believe that we always have to be able to have the idea. Oh, shout out to Paul Carrick. Thank you, sir, for becoming a platform supporter. You, sir, are now what? On a new level. Oh man, I ain't got my sound. That's why I had to take it down. But I had to take it down because it was flagging my. It started to flag my show when I was doing that, so I couldn't do it no more. But thank you, sir. I appreciate you joining the becoming a member. Um, but getting back to the point, as far as what the government does and the way that they do things, it's like you have to entertain the worst. Sometimes what people's intentions are. Sometimes the intentions may not be, they may have good intentions, but you also have to look at it and say, well, what if they didn't? If I did not have the best intentions for a certain group or the people that actually pay me as a public servant to do a job, if I didn't have their best interests at heart, would this be a thing to do to give me control, to give me power, and to put them in more of a docile / compliant place? And the answer is yes. I mean, just looking at it for what it is, why would our government, with all of the other things going on, with all of the other issues that we have, like we were talking about earlier, the veterans, homelessness, child abuse, those three right there, why would we take $30 million of our taxpayers' money and put it towards drug kits, crack kits? Why would we do that if we don't want to promote that? Why? Because we want to keep those people that are in a downtrodden, that are in a place of just despair. We want to keep them in that place. That's just what it is. It's just like when you look at the other things that our government does, they will give more money to foreign countries than they would to the people. Why would they do that? Why would a government do that? You have to ask that question. It's not a thing of, oh, well, they just trying to help these people. They trying to help these people to keep them from spreading drugs and to keep them from, not spreading drugs, but spreading disease and things like that. Well, what about the people who are sleeping under a viaduct? What about the people that are sleeping on the side of the road? Look at California and look at the homeless issue. The homeless people there, they literally have tent cities. Skid Row. You mean to tell me that we can't find that $30 million, we couldn't take that and apply that towards housing for homeless people? And not to say, because I know some people would try to stretch it and say, well, what are we going to do? Build houses for homeless people? No, but you can build housing. You could build small dorms, and you can take those dorms and use that for people to get on their feet. You could use it for that. Hey man, look, and I'm gonna tell you like this: there are plenty of churches that do that, where they have small single family houses, or they have apartment buildings. Maybe a 6-unit building, where they say, hey, look, we'll let you and your family come here and live here for rent free for 1 year. After that 1 year, you got to get out. I've seen it where certain churches have done stuff like giving people a house or an apartment or a car and say, hey, you get to use it for 1 year. So it's like, those are things that just imagine if you didn't have to pay rent for a year and you had a job. Now, you can't just be sitting up in this house or sitting up here using this car without doing nothing. No, you got to be working. You can't be on drugs. You can't have the police coming here every weekend and all that. You can't be having parties and all that kind of shit. But just something to say, well, hey, here's a hand up for you to get on your feet. After that year, you out. You're out. You're out the door. That's something that can actually help someone. And it's like, if you're talking about a church that can do that for one family, then how about a government that could do something like that for homeless people, for hundreds of thousands, for millions of people? Thank you, Eugene. You got somebody that our government will send $308 million to Afghanistan. And we have homeless people? We have people that are hungry? Why would a gun? And it's not oversight. It's like, oh, we never thought about that. We didn't see it that way. Oh, it just wasn't on our radar. We didn't know. That's not what it is. It's the thing of saying, well, why would we give you? They don't want to give us stability. They just don't. They want to keep us in a place to where, hey, man, you got barely enough to survive. We're not going to put you in a situation to where you can thrive. We're going to put you in a situation where you can survive. That's one of the Tommy saying. We're going to keep you in a position to where you can just survive. You can just make it. It's just like the Good Times theme song. Keeping our head above water. Making a wave when you can. That's it. That's all we want you to do. Right above water with you right here. Just think about when you were a kid and you didn't know how to swim and you get in the pool, and if you were short, you get in the pool and the water be up here. What would you be doing? You'd be the stiffest person. You don't want to make no waves. You don't want to bother nobody. You're like, oh, leave me alone. Don't touch me. Don't splash me. Don't splash me. Because you were afraid that you didn't want to get your head under the water. You just didn't. When you think, as soon as you put somebody in a swimming pool that can't swim, that's the first thing they do. They get stiff as a board, and they're the most compliant motherfucker in the world, ain't they? Because they're just surviving in that water. They can't swim. They don't know how to float. They don't know how to move their arms, kick their legs, or none of that. And what I'm saying is, I would want for our government to say, well, hey, if you're not going to at least put me on the wall, have me put my hands up there and teach me how to kick, why the hell are you just giving me a pool? Why would I give a pool to a bunch of people that can't swim? And that's exactly what it is, unless I want them to be in a position to where they are barely getting by. They're barely making it. They're struggling. You know how we embrace the struggle. The struggle is real, bro. We embrace that. So what a crack pipe's going to do here's my thing. Is a crack pipe going to help someone? If somebody can explain that to me, we can get somewhere. If somebody disagrees with what I'm saying, by all means, the link is there. But when you're talking about saying, hey, if I'm going to give you something that's going to help you do what it is that you do that's bad for you, I really don't give a shit. Or I'm benefiting tremendously from it. It's just like when you look at the pharmaceutical companies that invest all of this money in developing all of these highly addictive drugs. They know what the outcome is. They know, hey, man, once we get you on this, you ain't going to be able to get off. Y'all remember when Brett Favre came and told you about his addiction to pain meds? Because the pain was so severe, it was like he was using it just to get by, just to cope. So it's like, if I'm going to put you in a situation to where you can use this drug, yes, it's highly addictive. Yes, it's going to destroy your kidneys over time, but you ain't going to feel no pain today. You ain't going to feel no pain today. That's what I'm going to do. You got somebody who's in that much pain to where they will do anything just to stop the pain. I'm not looking about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm talking about my pain right now, today. And you see that with athletes all the time. And I tell you this, thank you, Lewis. And it seems as though those Democrats are the ones that are chomping at the bit to help those people stay in that misery. I'm going to give you just enough to medicate. Now, I would say this, the Republicans, they like, hey, man, you need to figure that shit out. We ain't going to give you this. We ain't going to spend this money on that. Nope. So it's not like the thing where the Republicans are trying to save us. They're putting us in a situation to where, hey, man, you got to get through this on your own. We ain't going to get in your way, but we're not going to do it for you. And me personally, I appreciate that part more than you just helping me in my shit. You helping me with the shit that I'm doing. It's ridiculous. I mean, even when you look at crime, who benefits from these criminals consistently being repeat offenders, getting out and not doing no time? Ask yourself those kind of questions. Who benefits from that? Man, if I can commit a crime and don't go to jail, what am I more likely to do? Commit another crime. I'm going to do it. Here's the other part about it. Who's suffering from it? Who's paying the ultimate price for it? The people that the criminals live amongst. If I'm kicking in doors and I'm robbing people and I'm coming through getting my money and getting down how I live, then I'm going to be the one benefiting. But the people that are the law-abiding citizens, they're the ones that live in fear. They're the ones that are being attacked. They're the ones that are the victims in this sense. And it's to our own government's doing of making it to where they're allowing them to get back out and commit those same crimes. I tell you about the story all the time where a friend of mine, cousin, went and did a shooting, literally was involved in a shooting, got arrested by the police. So the police did their job. That person got out of jail on like a $1,500 bond and went and shot somebody else and got caught again. What kind of sense does that make to where we are being that lenient on crime to where someone can commit a crime, get out of jail, go commit another crime, and get back in and go back in jail for the same thing? So I'm going to give you the tools to smoke crack. I'm going to give you the tools to do your drugs better. And you see how they tried to clean it up, talking about, yeah, we gave them crack pipes, we gave them lip balm, we gave them alcohol wipes. You giving them all of this stuff so that they could continue to do those drugs. But here's the thing. What about the after effects of it? What happens after I come down off my high? I'm going to get high again. If I don't have no money to get high, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to go steal. I'm going to go hurt someone. I'm going to go do whatever it takes for me to get that money to get high one more again. That's exactly what it is. And even when you're talking about the things where people are in situations where they're getting this government assistance and the government is giving them this and the government's giving them that, even though you think it's help in the moment, over time, because there is no cutoff, because there is no end date, they won't prepare for it. They'll just stay with it. Well, shit, you mean to tell me I can stay home, don't work a job, don't do a goddamn thing, but I can still get room and board, I can still get shelter, I can get food, and I ain't got to do nothing? And if I have another kid, if I have a kid, you're going to give me more money? If I have more kids, you're going to give me even more money? Why would I not do that if I don't want to do shit in the first place? If it's costing me nothing to stay home and to just sit back and get all kinds of resources lavished and just dumped upon me, I don't see why somebody who don't want to do shit with themselves wouldn't do it. It's a win-win situation for that person that don't want to get a job. It's a win-win situation for that person that is on drugs. I can sit back and I can just enjoy it and don't have to do anything about it. Let me go ahead and get the stream together. Give me 2 seconds and we will start getting some people in here to get some ideas and get their thoughts and opinions about it. Hold on. I just need to do that. And then I need to do, oh, wait, I can't do it that way. Haha. Nope. We're going to do this first. And then we'll do that. Give me 2 seconds, good sir. All right. Hold on. We're going to add that so that everybody can see what's happening. And there we go.
Hello?
Yeah. All righty. Go ahead, sir. You are on the air. Deboski Gun.
Yes, man. Chi-Town Love.
That's what's up.
I watch your show. I've been watching your show for a minute, but I never ever seen you drop the link before.
Oh, okay, for sure. Well, I usually do it when, somebody wants to, if they usually like put it in the chat or something like that, and they got something that they want to add. I usually do it that way. But man, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead. What are your thoughts about it?
If he gonna give out crack pipes or anything like that, you have to think in Chicago how many people went to jail for possession of a crack pipe.
And we'll still go.
I'm talking about I've had uncles in, but I will say this: they will give a crackhead a little leniency because to possess cocaine in any way, shape, or form is a felony. That's a one of them type of drugs where it ain't no misdemeanor. It's a felony. So every time a crackhead get caught with a crack pipe, that's a felony if it got residue on it. So if you're gonna now give out this type of utensils to the community, then you need to be expunging some records of some of these people that got caught with the same stuff you giving out now for free.
Yep. And the thing is, they're keeping what. Why is it a felony? Because it puts you in that cycle. It puts you in that. It puts you in that cycle of saying, "Hey, now I got a felony. Now I can't get certain jobs. So now my opportunities are just shrinking. The more I use drugs, the more I get caught with drugs, the more I get locked up. All I'm doing is just shrinking my opportunities to get myself out of that situation. And most people, being products of their environment, tend to stay in it.
And something else with that too, when you was talking about the government assistance that they give out to people, everything that they give you, they can watch you with. You go use that link card, they can see exactly where you at, exactly where you going, exactly where you been. You live somewhere that they gave you, they know exactly where you live, exactly where to find you at. And uh, something I wanted to add in on the back end of that is they give a young black man, because I did, I know this might be like diversion slightly, but I do see a difference in this whole gender thing, man and black women and black men. We all, black, white, whoever,
Yep.
we all created equal by God. But I do see like a gender thing with this life, and I do see a certain gender taking more power from the gender race that's being sparked it. And the reason why I'm saying that is to say, a lot of these young black boys, before they even hit the age of 18, catch a felony that's going to follow them the rest of their life. But nobody will say they frontal lobe didn't develop. Nobody will say that nobody cares about the little black boys. This won't become a trending Twitter remark or trending social media remark to where other people will be like, you know what? Somebody should go out there and help them little black boys. But if you a black girl or black woman, they're now demanding sympathy for you. If you put yourself in a situation where you're lying about your age or out here doing things that you know what you're capable of doing and fully investing in those things, then they give you the excuse of you don't have your frontal lobe developed. Why them guys that's sitting in jail for crimes that they committed at 16 and 15, now they 38, 39, 42, why they frontal lobe didn't develop? So it's an imbalance of a lot of things being applied
It's
to
like this.
things that's going to damage the future.
When you look at it, and this is the thing why I tell people, look at what the government is doing and ask the question. Would I want to empower those that build that could potentially subvert what it is I'm trying to do and actually question what it is I'm trying to do and actually have the physical capability to unseat me in the position of power that I'm in? Would I really want to empower those people? When you look at what men do, black men alike, white men, Asian, Hispanic, what do men do? Men build. They build things, whether it's building a business, whether it's building a building, whether it's building something for my community. We solve problems and we build things. And it's just not in a woman's makeup to do that. A woman will do something that will allow her to survive. She's going to do whatever it takes for her to survive. That's what she does. That's how she's wired. And men are the opposite of that. We try to do things to make sure that our families survive. We try to do things to make sure that our families can thrive. That's how we're wired. It's like when I always talk about the difference between when you look at women, men, when you look at kings and you look at heroes. A woman will do what is best for her. She just will. A man will do what's best for his family. A king will do what's best for his people. And a hero will do what's best for everyone. All of that comes down to those people that are actually have the ability and the tools to do those things will do what they do. So if I don't want people to build their own nations and to build their own their own areas up, I'm not going to give them tools to do it. I'll be damned. I'll
True.
create an imbalance and I'll give those tools to women. Just like who was that? Was that Goldman Sachs that said we gonna give women $30 billion or something like that for small businesses and things like that? Most women that start their own businesses, what do? They create that business and they getting money, they getting paid, and yes, they may employ one or two people, but then you turn around and you'll see men in that same situation and they'll turn things into a franchise. I'm going to build one, then I'm going to build two, then I'm going to build three,
True.
then I'm going to build four. That's what they will do. They won't just stop at that one. When you look at the lawn care industry. What do? I get one customer, one lawn, then I get two, then I get five, then I get 10. I'm
Same
bringing
thing
on
with the
more
car
people.
dealership.
I'm getting more trucks. Now I'm doing not now. I got 40 or 50 different residences. Now let me start getting some businesses. Let me start getting some commercial properties. And they will continue to grow that business because they won't just stop to where they got enough. They're going to keep doing it because it's in their nature to continue to grow and to build those things up that they have done, that they started.
Something I wanted to add on that imbalance that the government gives out, and now the world is pushing of dividing gender when once again God created us all equal. The imbalance of that is when you look at this murder rate in Chicago, people just think that it's due to gang violence, it's due to drugs. Me personally, I think, and no offense, but I think that when pussy get hot, Negroes get shot. A lot of these murders, women are behind it in some type of way, whether it's pride that a guy don't want to back down, whether it's he say, she say, whether it's trying to look cool, and all that drives from the imbalance that's being pushed, starting from the projects when they didn't want a man in the home to what you're seeing now. We went from being illegal to Kim Fox expunging records. Now you got this guy giving out crack pipes. Is they gonna expunge the records of crack pipes? And in California, they got controlled heroin spots where you can do heroin. So they might as well just make drugs legal.
Look at it like this. Here's the thing, and it makes sense to us. And you've heard plenty of people talk about that over the decades about making drugs illegal. Here's the reason why they won't. They're barely able to do marijuana, but you know what the big problem with marijuana is in the areas that it is legal in? It's hard for the government to get a piece. It's hard for them to get a piece of it. It's hard for them to tax it. Look at how long it was before it was all cash. You couldn't even take that money and put it in a bank. You had to take that money. It was a cash business. When it started to become legal in Colorado and things like that, there's no way for the government to get their hand on it, which is why they don't want to make it legal. Here's the other part about it. If the government were to legalize crack, cocaine, heroin, meth, what's going to happen to the criminal justice system? What's going to happen to the prisons? What's going to happen to those crimes that have been? It was just like when you look at prohibition. When alcohol was illegal, well, it was an entire industry that was booming for the illegal sale of alcohol. And it was to the point to where what the mob was doing and what the beer liquor barons and all of that stuff they were doing, they were able to make so much money that they were actually able to subvert the government. They were able to buy more politicians. They were able to, because it was so much money being made, they were able to grow their business by buying politicians.
Look at the Kennedy.
Yes.
Look at the Kennedy.
Look at them. And it was like, what if they said, look, we got to do something. We got to legalize this and tax it, or they're going to be able to subvert the government. Look at the drug cartels over in Mexico and things like that. Those people pretty much run that country. All that shit we talking about, oh, well, they have a government, they got their president. Those cartels are in so much power. They're doing whatever the hell they want that it even leaks over into our land. Look at Juarez, Texas. They killed. They killed a new sheriff. Hold on one second. They killed a new sheriff in Juarez, Texas, within like the first week he got elected just because he wasn't on their agenda. In our own U.S. soil, they killed him, shot him up. I mean, riddled his vehicle with bullets and killed him within like the first 2 weeks he was working as the sheriff because of the control and the power that they had down there. They're running that town. Go ahead.
When you mention Mexico and how they have influence over here in the United States, I recall seeing all of those Haitian peoples land here in Texas, and they've sent their ass back so fast. But you come over here and your skin not dark, you can get put into a program. You can get a temporary citizenship and all this other stuff. But if your ass come over here and you black and from Ghana or something, your visa run out, they gonna put you on that plane so fast.
Because
so
when you
fast.
look at it, what do they bring to the table? That's all they're looking at. Where do we gain by having these people here? That's why they wanted. That's why they didn't finish the wall. That's why do you realize that Joe Biden wasn't even in office 48 hours and he stopped the build of the wall? Then he turned around and stopped the oil pipeline immediately because it didn't support their agenda. We want to get as many illegal aliens over here as we possibly can so that we can let them vote. Because if we let them vote, they're gonna vote for us, which keeps us in power.
And the crazy thing with that, no offense to nobody, but I don't work several warehouse jobs. And the person that, until Donald Trump came, and I ain't no Donald Trump supporter, not Donald Trump supporter. But when Donald Trump came, you could walk up in the warehouses, it'd just be 5, 11 people in there. But when I was working there, the person that was your boss couldn't even speak no English. And if you made one of them mad, they all got together and got your ass fired.
It's a thing where you look at a certain group of people and you see how can they benefit us. It used to be where blacks were that group of people to where you can say, look, we can't if somebody tried to do something to them, we'll make it such a big fuss and a big stink about it to where everybody will feel bad and it'll look bad. The optics will be bad around it. So we kind of became like a protected class to some degree. But then when it came time for us to actually get some things, some resources, to actually get some type of political power, some position, nope, they cut it all off. When you look at how a small group, look at a small group like the Asian community. Asians don't outnumber us, but they have way more political power. Why? Because they have established families. They have their men in place that make money. They have the women in place that do what the men say. Ain't no Asian women out here talking about, I'm living my best life. I'm doing what's best for me. I'm living my truth. They're not doing that. They're at home taking care of their children and they're supporting their husbands. That's what they do. We're the only group that don't take care of our own first. We just don't. And that's a huge problem for us. So when you have government entities that come in here with these special programs and we think it's a help, it's nothing but a hurt to keep us where we're at. I'm going to give you just enough to get by.
To survive.
That's it. Because if I can do that, I got control over you. If I can control when you eat, how much money you make, I can control you, period. If I tell you, well, look, this is what if you want to eat, you got to do this. You got to say this. You can't say that. I'm starving. What am I going to do? I'm going to do what you tell me. Just feed me, boss. Just give me some food, boss. That's what I'm going to do. And that's the way when you got Joe Biden telling somebody who has the audacity to tell somebody, nigga, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Joe Biden said during the civil rights movement, all kind of stuff that he should be held to today, but I guess people get amnesia. These are two ideas that I bounce around in my head that could help put the world in a better course. You know, they all want some money, so prison will never go away because it's legalized slavery. But if you're locked up for a nonviolent crime, the same way you have an opportunity to post a bond from a county jail, if they send you to prison, they should have an amount that if you can pay this during your time or until you finish your time. and then you can make money because some people won't want to go do them 5 and 7 years. I might can get that $75,000 together during the course of 3 and 4 years sitting in there, and y'all can make money. On the flip side, I think that this would be a good idea. If you are under the age of 21 and you commit non-violent felonies, I don't believe you should lose your gun rights. I feel like you should get a second chance, because why should one mistake cost you your whole future? Now, if you do become a man that's supporting his family, you can't even protect your family.
And what does that do? It puts you at the mercy of someone else. It puts you in a victim. It makes you a victim.
Now you got to tell your girl to get the gun.
And now I got to decide. I got to decide now, if I'm going to protect my family and protect my life, I got to now carry a gun illegally.
Right.
Just like when I lived in Chicago as a young man, after I got robbed at about maybe, I want to say I was about maybe 21 years old, 20 years old. And I got robbed, me and my boys, we got robbed at gunpoint. And that changed my life, because I made the decision at that point, I'll never be in that situation ever again. Been carrying a gun ever since. So for about maybe I'm going to say about maybe 10 years, I carried a gun illegally. I knew how to do it. I knew how to use it and all that kind of shit, but I carried it illegally. I was willing to risk going to jail, getting a felony, and potentially, having that follow me for the rest of my life. I had to make that decision because I chose, like, I'm not going to live in fear, and I'm not going to keep where I don't go nowhere. I can't go out in the streets. I can't go out and live my life. So I had to make that decision. I shouldn't have to make that decision. But that was Chicago. They didn't want nobody to have handguns, and the only people that had handguns in Chicago were the politicians, the police, and the criminals. That's it. Law-abiding citizens couldn't have it.
Now times done changed where you can, license to carry, et cetera, but I know exactly the time frame you're talking about. And that's exactly what I'm mentioning that.
And look at all the hoops they make you. Look, in Chicago, you got to have what they call you got to have a FOID card first. FOID card means that I'm able to buy ammunition. I pass my background check. I'm not a criminal and all that stuff, so I can purchase a firearm. Now I also got to go through this class and get my license to carry. I got to have 2 pieces of identification to be able to buy ammo, because every time I go and buy a box of bullets, they got to run my FOID card. And then I got to have another license to carry a gun. Why would I need to do that? Because the state is benefiting off of everything that you got to do. That class
they charging you $300
exactly
for that second piece of paper. They charging $3. See, the FOID card only $10 to $20. Yep. So they make their money off the other end by saying $3, because they can't charge you for your rights. So they just doing a processing fee. But to make it up, they get the fucking license to carry class, and that's how they benefit.
That's how they getting it. And then you got to pay for that license to get it so that you can carry the gun. And they're going to tax your ass on the gun sale. They're going to tax you to renew your license. Your carry license. Then they're going to tax you to renew your FOID card. It's all about what? They're funding whatever it is that they want to do. They're charging people. And now they're just like how they tried to do that. Everybody got to have insurance, and you paid it. The government wants to find a way to keep taxing you, because the more money you spend, the more money they make. The more I can impose these taxes on you, the more money I get to go and say, I'm going to fund this special project I want. That's how they're able to send $308 million over to Afghanistan. That's how they're able to send
$50 million on crack pipes.
Yeah, exactly. $30 million for crack pipes and then lip balm. So when you smoking, your lips will be moist. I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. It's insane to do that. It is insane to do that. So it's like, when you look at all of these things that they're doing, you have to ask the question. It's not we always try to think that the government just like they is boys in the hood. They don't know, it don't show, or they just don't care about what's going on in the hood. And that's exactly what we're faced with.
When you watch the Judas and when you watch the Judas and the Black Messiah, I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
I saw it.
And that's based on the true story facts. Because I know Fred Hampton Jr. For the government to always be worried about a black messiah rising out of the black community, I'm pretty sure that history repeats itself, and they still think like that.
And here, why do that? And that's why we have this thing to where we always want somebody to lead us. And you know why the government loves that? They love the Al Sharptons. They love the Jesse Jacksons. They love them because they can do one or two things. They're either gonna get on board and do what we say to keep them with to keep
Uh-huh.
this group where we want them, where we want them to stay, or we gonna kill them and they gonna lose hope and ain't gonna do nothing anyway. It's a win-win
Mm-hmm.
situation. That's why you see Al Sharpton every time something go on with black folks, he the one stepping up. That's why you don't really see Rev too much no more, because Rev is real old.
And
And
then
Rev ain't
Al
got it
Sharpton
like he
working
used
for
to.
the FBI.
Yeah,
Remember Al Sharpton was working for the FBI.
absolutely. He's a if you a paid criminal, if you a paid informant, you working for them peoples. But we do that all the time. We get that all the time. All it takes is a little bit of money or the right case to come along, and we gonna give up and say, all right, go ahead. But we're the ones always wanting some messiah to lead us. We want some guy to be our leader. Why do we do that? We need to go and stand up on our own, because if you stand on your own and you doing for yourself, I don't need no reverend or no preacher to tell me how to live my life and what I need to be doing. I don't.
Because only one person go in the casket. You ain't gonna go in there with the
Exactly.
Messiah, the pastor. Just gonna be you by your damn self.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at all of the things you and I'm gonna have to stop and talk about these preachers for a second. When you look at some of these churches, the millions of dollars that people are funneling to these churches, it's
They
like,
just found $1 million in the wall behind the bathroom
how does that
in that
happen?
white dude church.
How does that happen? No, Joel Osteen, $600,000 in a wall, cash money, tithe envelopes, whatever the case may be, but he sure enough said, "Oh, this money got stolen a long time ago, and we gonna do an insurance claim, and we got the money back." But when you look at
Let it
somebody
have
that
been your
has,
church.
when you look at somebody that has that type of money being funneled into an institution, how much of that is actually going back to the people? You
How
get
much of it is counted if it's this wall?
man. You look at Creflo Dollar. People don't realize the cost of keeping and maintaining a jet. The purchase of a jet.
Yeah,
The
hang glider.
hangar fees, the crew fees, the fuel fees, all of those fees that go along for what? For this guy to fly around whenever he want to go wherever he want to preach? How much of that money could be used to actually help somebody, like, let's say, I don't know, pay off a mortgage? Pay off some college tuition? We looking for the government to pay our own college loans, our student loans, and they ain't even trying to
Them
do it.
student loans is forever though. Them student loans is forever, man.
Yes.
They forever. They suck the blood out of you
Why
to
would
the end.
it? Why wouldn't we have it to where our government is regulating that? That's a hustle. Do you know how much money it costs to go to college, and how much in debt by the time if you go to college, let's say to become a teacher, you won't pay off your student loans until you damn near 40 to 50 years old. So if I go and get my degree, become a teacher, just my basic bachelor's, I'm gonna be paying off student loans for at least 10 years. Don't let me go and get my master's to get more money. Don't let me go and get my PhD to get even more money. I'm gonna be paying it off, because what I gotta pay to get it and what I'm gonna make in that job that I'm gonna have for it, it'll never match up. And by the time I do get it paid off, I'm 50. It's all a part of that. It's a hustle. It's a game to keep you on that hamster wheel, to where you looking at that carrot right in front of you when you don't see that there's an entire world that's open around you. But we go for those kind of jobs. Why are we doing that? Because we don't have that direction from our parents. If it ain't no daddy in the house to tell you, nah, boy, go be a plumber as opposed to a teacher, Yeah, you might have to spend $8,000 or $10,000 in an apprentice program, but once you get out, you start out making damn near six figures. Go be a carpenter so you can get out making your own money with your own business, whatever the case may be. You have that ability to do that. That's why when people look and you see things like, why are all the lawyers, you know, the Jews? Why is it that all of the doctors are now foreigners? All the doctors are like Indians and things like that. Why is that? It's because of the money that's involved when you make. That's why I told my daughter, you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, but you ain't gonna be no teacher. I had to explain that to her because I'm not gonna put her on that hamster wheel where you working in a school making $41,000 a year, basically raising somebody else's kids, and you ain't making no money off of it. You can't even, you barely living yourself, but you're going every day. All you get is, 6 or 8 weeks off every summer, but you're not making any money. You really ain't living. And those are the things that we do. We allow ourselves to be put into these small boxes to where we just surviving because there's nobody there to tell us there's something else. The afterworld, as Prince would say. Rest in peace.
And I heard you say that the churches sponsor single homes for people in need, et cetera, et cetera. And I see a lot of these major cities having tiny homes for the homeless, tiny homes for people in need. And Chicago, the third biggest city, and they ain't even thinking about nothing like that when we got all these vacant lots.
Nope. There's a reason why Chicago is the most segregated city in the country. It's not the thing that we just ain't really looked at it. There's a reason why. When you look in Chicago, there are areas that are there, and it's just those groups of people that are in those areas. It's segregated for a reason. You have the different ethnic groups, and then you have the different classes. When you have something called the Gold Coast, it's not because it's gold, it's paved in gold. It's that the people that live on the Gold Coast, they have a certain amount of money to where that's where they live. They can afford it. You go downtown and you staying in a high-rise building overlooking the lakefront, you paying top dollar for that. And that's why they kicked all of the black folks out of them niggas out of the projects, because them niggas literally had apartments overlooking the lake. When you went down to the Ida B. Wells, they was like 5 minutes away from the lakefront. When you looked in the Robert Taylor homes, one of the worst projects in the fucking world, it overlooked the lake. You could look out and see Lakeshore Drive. You go down to the Harold Ickeys. You can go in that building and you can look out and see downtown. That's prime real estate. They said, man, get these niggas out of here. Y'all know what we can do with this? And that's what they did. People lived right, literally a block away from the White Sox baseball stadium. That was the projects. They had it designed like that for a reason. And now it's a thing to where they keep you in that box. We're going to keep you right here, and whatever happens to you, happens to you. People shooting.
They don't even come plow the streets. They don't even come plow them streets. Look at the snow trackers. I just seen old girl, the comedian, look at the snow trackers in live time. They had the whole Inglewood, nobody touching.
There's somebody in control of that. Actually, I know one of the people that I don't know if they retired or not, but that was his job. We used to call, and I lived in the hundreds. Shout out to the 12 dudes. I lived in the hundreds. We used to be able to call our buddy and say, hey man, can you get somebody to come plow? Yeah, I had somebody come through tonight. Call me in the morning if it ain't done. I had connections, but I'm just giving you an example of how the system works. If you don't know the people you need to know, it's a wrap. You can forget it. You on your own, like you Patti LaBelle. But you have to realize that it's not like that. Oh, they just doing that to us because we black. It's like that because it's status, it's class. Because I was broke, living in the hood, but I could get my street plowed at 2 a.m. When I came outside to get on the street, my street was good. And we lived on the corner. I knew the right person. I forgot to take my trash out. I can make a phone call, have somebody come pick my trash up by the end of the day. To the point to where people would be like, man, who y'all know? We was off work. We was about to punch out. They had us come back over here and get this trash. Hey man, just get the trash. Don't worry about who I know. Thank you. Right. Cabrini Green, 8 minutes from the lake. Downtown,
Mm-hmm.
prime real estate. It's all about how that's set up to where they can say, well, look, if we can get these people out into these suburbs, out into these boondocks, where the land flood, where it ain't no good commerce, ain't no businesses out here, we can get them out there, then we can forget about them. We ain't got to look at them.
They gonna do that. They gonna end up doing that to O Block next.
It's on the way. Look at what they did in Bronzeville. Bronzeville used to be the hood. Bronzeville used to be ragging them up. Now look at them. Them same homes that was probably selling for 40 and 50,000 as brownstones, now they 400,000. It's all about what we see and the way that we look at things. That's what matters, because it's happening right before our eyes. We're just so caught up in the race thing to where when we see something like this, we don't even take offense to it. I'm more pissed at it's $30 million. I'm looking at it's black folks that smoke crack pipes, and the black folks can get these resources. Now, no, $30 million. Do you know what I could do with $30 million?
I think more white people using pipes than black people. Meth, crack.
It's a class thing. Crack pipe and a meth pipe, that's the same damn thing. I don't need a special one.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Same pipe, different.
But when you go down to the south, when you go to the south and you see trailer parks, the majority of them is white people.
And here's the question.
And they might not even get that 30 million because they in the boondocks.
I'm sorry, I said 30
so that 30 million.
Is it 30 million or 30 billion?
I think it's 50 million.
I thought it was million, but when you look at, just to say, when you look at a trailer park versus the hood,
I don't think the trailer park gonna get that stimulus because they in the boondocks. They might not even know about it. But so that would mean that it would be for black people.
Trust and believe. Free resources will attract people from far and wide.
It will.
Think about when
they give out that dope pill.
Yeah,
that dope pill they give out.
What was that?
People come from far and wide.
Is that like in the mid 90s? There was a huge migration just that I knew of in Chicago of people leaving the ghetto, niggas leaving the hood, going to places like Iowa, going to places like Idaho, going to places like Minnesota, because they had more money for Section 8. They were able to get Section 8 faster, and they were able to get more Section 8 in those states. So people were actually leaving the hood here in Chicago. They were leaving Chicago and going to Iowa to get a better house in a better neighborhood that was Section 8. Free
Wisconsin
resources,
too.
Man, all you got to do is put it out there and people going to flock to it. They going to find a way. If it's something free, trust and believe, we going to find a way to get to it. That's just what we do, because it's that handout. And all I'm saying is we're taking these things and we're taking these monies and these resources and we're squandering them on just frivolous stuff. And we're okay with it. We're just looking at it saying, well, hey, that's how it is. No, it has to be something to where we're saying, why would you give away $30 million for crack kits? Why would you empower people to go and smoke and do more drugs when you have homeless people, when you have veterans, when you have crazy people on the, think about the people that are on the streets that literally don't have a home and are homeless because they psychologically can't function. They're mentally ill to where they cannot function in a day-to-day job. They can't go work a job, but they're on the streets because we closed all of the mental institutions. So we'll take $30 million and buy crack kits, but we won't take that $30 million and open up a mental institution. And now you hear everybody talking about what?
I was about to say, thanks for letting me on the show, man. I appreciate the conversation, man.
Hey, man, thanks for calling in, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, God.
Yep. But when you look at all of those things and you look at those people that will do that kind of stuff, and we won't ask that question, right? They say, but they didn't want to support Trump's $500 platinum deal for black folks. to start black business. They ain't want to talk about that. And here's my question. Have you, all of y'all that voted for Joe Biden, has anybody heard about Ice Cube getting a phone call? Been over a year. Has anybody heard about Ice Cube getting a phone call? We're going to talk to Ice Cube as soon as the election over. Biden and them said it, and Kamala said it. Soon as it's over, we're going to talk to Ice Cube. We're definitely going to sit down with him. We're just in a race right now. That's what they said. And nobody said nothing now about it. We never said, well, hey, why come y'all didn't talk to Ice Cube? Go ahead, Ugly Truth. You're on the air, sir. Unmute yourself.
What's up, Brian? Not much but love, man. Love watching your show.
What's happening? Thank you, brother. It's hard to hear you. Can you let me see if I can, you get a little closer to the mic. You got like an earpiece on?
Nah, I got my just on my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, see if you put it up closer to your face or something. But go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Hold tight. Oh, yeah, I can turn it up. Go ahead, bro. You good?
All right, good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
See, the only problem I have with that is like literally we could fund $30 million into all these, oh hey, safe haven, you come do your crack here. But the thing is, it's like, why can't you take some of them funds and literally just say, hey, since you're for the black people, invest into black communities.
And here's my thing. When you look at just the finance piece, and this is and we as black folks, you know, I myself included, we're so financially illiterate that we don't even know what to ask for. And a lot of people don't realize that one of the key cornerstones to financial freedom is real estate. How many of us are renting as opposed to owning our own homes? How many of our parents are renting as opposed to owning our own homes? How many of us are doing that? We don't. So it's like, if you're gonna have something, you're gonna have these funds come into the community. Have them come into the community where you can say, okay, look, if you've been living in this community for more than 5 years and you got a mortgage, we'll pay half your mortgage or pay all your mortgage off. Do you know how much financial freedom you would have if you could not have a house note no more? What you could do with your financial portfolio as far as loans for businesses, as far as having that cash flow, that's life-changing. If somebody paid off my mortgage, it would change my financial portfolio. It would be a huge impact. Those are the kind of things that we don't ask for. Go ahead.
Because like, if you even look at like, hey, like, even as like you say, like being literate in that situation, it's like, even if you look at it, the black community asks for a lot of stuff that we didn't even need. Like, prime example, we took away the police out the neighborhoods. Hey, that's gonna make black community safer. But the thing is, the funds we needed in the black community is not even there.
And we're not. And the thing is, though, we don't even know what to ask for. But we get Juneteenth.
Was that? But the thing is, like, what is Juneteenth gonna do for me as a black young male? Like, I look at like a lot of stuff. Like, we're spending, or like you say, we're spending overseas. We're spending on like, you know what I'm saying. We're spending on places. Hey, you can do crack here. But the thing is, why not say, hey, as a community, we need a safer community. Like, we need to get the drug dealers off the street, all these gangbangers. But the thing is, we're gonna fund that, but we won't fund. But the thing is, they won't fund the police. But now all of a sudden, hey, there's too much violence going on. We need the police back.
My thing is this: when you look at the police, we're the ones talking about defund the police. That's what black folks are doing. And we're allowing people like Patrice Khan and Colors, Black Lives Matter, to do it. We're donating to that. Do you realize that they've gotten over $60 million that's unaccounted for? They
And
don't
you,
they're right now, just now, damn near 3 years later, just now starting to even get questioned about that money that they got funneled to them and how
yeah,
they spent it.
cause like literally, I looked at the news today. It was saying like, hey, that $60 million that we're talking about is under investigation now by literally the Attorney General of California. I think it was Minnesota, and I think it
Yep.
was like one other place. Like they're looking into it. It's just like, hey,
Yes.
these 60, you brought 4 houses. Not only 4 houses, y'all donated. I think it was like over 300 million, something like that, to
Yep.
a house in Canada or something like that.
She bought four properties, was on her way to buy a fifth in the Bahamas until somebody said something. And my thing was this: I get it, what you hustling, you trying to get over. I get it. My thing is why we don't give a shit about it. How come we wasn't asking the question, said, wait a minute, bitch, you got all this goddamn money and ain't not one resource put into the black community? You went and bought 4 houses of with the donations. This supposed to be off of what black men have been dying for. You took that money and you went and bought yourself some houses. You went and had some fucking what did she have? Some conferences at a resort. You went and did that before you gave any of that money to the community that you're supposed to be supporting. And we didn't get upset about it. We were the ones that was quiet. It's like when once we're getting people, once we get attention, it's like we just shut up. You can take advantage of us. You can mistreat us. You can neglect us. You can act like you don't even know us no more. We won't say shit because we've gotten the attention. We put Black Lives Matter all on our social media pages. We changed all our avatars. We put it on all our pictures, wore the hat, the gloves, the scarves, the t-shirts, walked up and down the street, stood up in front of all of the political institutions. But not one of y'all said, well, wait, where the fuck is the money? Hey, man, we paying y'all $15 an hour to go out here and stand on the corner and hold a sign. Yeah, but where the fuck is the money? That's chump change.
Because the thing is, even with like personally, I asked my like you know what I'm saying. Me and my sister was having like you know what I'm saying a conversation one day. You know, it's like we just because like you know one day I think we was like one of the poor pilots from NASA just literally landed back in the United States, and they went get it. My sister was like, "Hey, she had a problem with the with one of the rescuers had a Trump sign, and she was like, "Oh, that's a problem. Like, I don't see it as a problem. It's America. You could, it's his boat. Hey, you can put your flag on, do what you want to do with it." And she said, "I have a problem." I'm like, "Well, okay, cool. Hey, what is Black Lives Matter doing for black people?" And she couldn't even answer it to the point she was like, "Oh, they just bring awareness." I'm like,
That's what I was just
"Well,
about to say. That's what everybody says. That's the narrative. Those are the talking points that everybody gets. It brings awareness about police brutality against black people. Okay, here's my question. Do you want awareness or do you want a solution against the death of black? If Black Lives Matter, do you want just awareness about it or do you want to solve the problem? Well, we want to solve the problem. So why the fuck are you supporting a group that is just here to bring awareness? Why are you donating to a group that is only bringing about awareness? Then they'll come back and say, well, you got to have the awareness or something before you can actually understand it to actually get it taken care of. All right, so we're going to take care of it now that we've been aware. How many years and how many millions of dollars does it take to get awareness? Y'all on fucking CNN, Fox News, every internet thing, every time there's a shooting, all going live. Everybody know about it. I'm aware of it. Here's my next point. If you're aware of crime in your own community, in your own neighborhood, why do you need somebody else to come out and say the same thing that you know?
and the thing is, you thing is, so you're basically saying 30 million like crack addicts are more important than literally black people in the community."
Yes. To bring it all back together, why would I want to give $30 million to crack users, meth users, drug users, as opposed to the kids that don't have resources in the community, the kids that are going hungry, the kids that don't have clothes. What, we all got to wait for Kwame Brown to get the kids shoes? It's like we don't even think to ask those questions to say, if somebody gave you $30 million, you mean to tell me you gonna go buy some drug paraphernalia for drug addicts? You mean to tell me that's what you gonna do? If somebody gave me
And
$30 million and said, hey, go help your community, the last thing I'm going to do is buy kits for drug users. It's too many other issues. It's too many other things that can be addressed in the community for me to go and spend money on drug kits for drug users.
exactly, but the thing is, like, oh, all and like, and this is kind of like the $1 million reason why, like, hey, I voted for Trump because, like, literally, how the one person just said, hey, he is completely just racist against black people, gave millions and millions of dollars to black people, got black people started with jobs and everything. But at the end of the day, y'all will be like, at the end of the day, if this person is so say y'all savior, why is he not trying to save the black community?
Here's my question. I had this conversation with my mama about a year or so ago. I said, Mama, this was right before the election. I said, Mama, if you don't like Trump because he's a racist, would it go to say that you don't like any racist people? She said, yeah. I said, my question for you then is, what has a racist person done to you? And in today's world, what could a racist person do to you?
Nobody can answer that.
She couldn't answer it. And I said this, I said, I don't give a good goddamn of who's racist. I don't. I don't care. I don't care. I don't see, when I'm talking to white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, I don't give a good goddamn if they're racist or not, especially if they're in government. If they're a public servant, they're a government official, I could give a rat's ass if they're racist or not. What are you doing to me? What are you doing with my taxpayers' dollars? That's what I want to know. What is it that you do as this government official who could potentially be racist? What are you doing that's going to impact my day-to-day life? If I don't have an answer for that, I could give a shit. I don't care. Because when you look at it from that lens, you take the emotion out of it. That's just like when they tell people, yeah, what they doing to black folks now is like a modern day lynching. Man, that's an insult to those that were lynched. That's an insult. Nobody's doing that to you today. Why are you worried about why are you worried about Klan members? When was the last time a Klan member came on your block and burned a cross or shot your neighborhood up? I'll wait. I'll wait for that answer, and they could never answer it. And I say, if you're going to sit and be concerned about somebody that's a racist or they in the Klan, then how in the hell are you voting for Joe Biden?
Because, like, even with myself, I looked at, like, okay, hey, what I'm saying, like, listening to, like, what I'm saying, different political views and everything. I looked at the situation of, like, so you will take my taxpayer money that I'm literally going in day out and work for every day and to pay the government. $30 million that could be used to, hey, you know what? Since he paying his taxes, let's help him out.
I don't get it. We won't do that. Do you realize that we won't do anything to help those people that are doing the right things? Those people that are actually making some headway in their lives? Do you realize that a black woman, let me go ahead and talk about the sisters for a second. Do you realize that there are more resources for a black woman that is having babies as a single mother than there is for a black woman that has no children that's going to school? That black woman that's going to school, she don't have half as many resources as that single black woman that's at home having kid on her third kid. How is it that we're okay with those kind of things and we're not questioning that? How is it that those things are the things that we just refuse to look at, question, say, well, hey, well, wait a minute. Well, why is this? Well, how come these people? We won't do it.
Like even if you look at it today, like literally, I woke up this morning and like I was like looking on YouTube and like literally I seen a trailer for like the new show coming out on Showtime. It's called Everything's Gonna Be All White, and I'm looking at that like, how are you just gonna say this when literally at the simple time y'all complain about everything being all white, but y'all on a white TV, a white well TV,
Network.
you know what?
We
Yeah,
complain about everything being all white, and then every black show that do come on TV, if it ain't ratchet, we ain't watching it. If
yeah.
somebody do you realize when you look at what's the show that's on HBO, Insecure, a single black woman who's literally just sleeping with a bunch of different dudes. That's the show we watch.
Like literally, like I
That's
told, like
that's I,
I'm gonna be,
I'm just saying that's what we watch. That's what they put out there. And that's what we go watch and support. They could put it out there all day long, but why would we be the ones to watch it? Why is it that we watch more love and hip hop, whatever city you want to put them in? We watch that more than any other show. We will not, and I'm saying there's ratchetness all around us, but that seems like that's all we gravitate towards. Somebody sleeping with somebody fighting somebody, bring them all together on a live recap show and they all fight each other. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see something that's family oriented. You try to put Bill Cosby show back on TV today, everybody gonna be like, he was a rapist though. Why they gonna put? Well, he's been vindicated. Yeah, but he still was drugging women. Yeah, he was, but Stevie J is the role model.
and it's like personally, me personally, I'm literally right now, I'm trying to get my real estate license. Like literally, I told my mom, I'm like, hey, mom, I'm
Shout
gonna
out
go
to
get my
Owner
real estate
Six.
license. Oh, what
Go
happened?
ahead.
Oh, I was telling my mom literally like, hey, I want to get my real estate license. My mama literally told me, of that real estate license, go get you a 9 to 5. And I'm looking at like, Ma, you look at all these commissions that literally all these other races are making doing real estate. They're making money more than like literally. I looked at one of the agents, one of the brokers I want to go sign to. He literally made $500,000 a year, $500,000 last year. And I'm like, why would you want me to go make that compared to, hey, I go work, I gotta go clock in, go make all this the little chump change that they want to give me. And I'm like, I could go do real estate and I could make more than that.
I can tell you why. Like I said earlier in the show, women want to survive, not thrive. Women want you, and that's what they've taught our children. They teach them how to survive, barely make it. You can barely make it with a 9 to 5. She didn't tell you what kind of 9 to 5 to get, just as long as it's a 9 to 5. Go work for somebody else that's going to tell you what to do, because that way you'll get a check and you'll be able to survive. Don't go and do a job or start a business or start a job where you got to work for yourself. You got to put in your own work. You got to build your own clientele. You got to build your name and your reputation. Don't go do that, because it's too much risk in that. Do the
And that's
safe
what I'm saying.
thing. That's how women are wired. It's just like when years ago, back when you would have cities that would get sacked, when you would have those conquered, those cities or those lands that would get conquered. What would the women do? They'd fall in line to survive. They'd watch their children get slaughtered. They'll watch their husbands get cut down. And what would they do? They will go and lay up with the same enemy that just killed their family, because they want to survive.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, instead of surviving, why not thrive? Even if you look at like you say, like even the situation in California, you look at the situation it's like, hey, now it's like, well, since we don't want to fund them no more, it's like, hey, let them go live in y'all house now.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. Even when you take a look at it and say, well, okay, well, man, I tell my nephews this all the time. I said, look, nephew, you young. You don't have nothing in your life that's holding you back. You ain't got no kids. You ain't got no wife. You have no obligation to nobody but yourself. Take this time to set yourself up so that when you decide to have a woman, when you decide to have children, when you decide to establish yourself and build a home, you will have your own already. You won't be trying to, I say, go live by yourself first. Go and live in your own apartment, your own house. Go and make your own money to where you're only taking care of yourself. Don't go buy a car that's gonna be $40,000 or $50,000 where you paying a $700 car note and a $1,000 insurance note for a car, and the only reason why you're doing it because you're 25. So it's all the prices jacked. I said, no, go buy you a $4,000 car, go get you a box Chevy or whatever the hell you gonna get, and you drive that so that you can make that money yourself and you can take your money, make your savings, start your business, whatever you gonna do, because you have no obligations to nobody but yourself. We don't teach our children that. We don't teach our young people that. We teach them to go out and get into debt so that they can barely survive. When you got families that got money, yeah, you can go be a teacher. Why? Because your nana left you $300,000 when she died. So you ain't gotta go and be a breadwinner making six figures so that your family can survive. You don't have to do that. Nana left you her house. Nana left you $4 million. Grandpa left you a farm and he left you this business. They have legacy. Other races build legacy. We
And
don't.
that
We go
and
and work
that's
for people
why
to survive.
and that's why I was looking out. So I'm like, hey, whites, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, like all these other races. Like, hey, once you come, you hit like at least 18. Hey, you gotta go to your career.
Yep.
And I looked at it, I was like even with talking with my girl, she like literally she literally everything you're saying, she also was saying. She was like, other races build generational wealth compared to black people.
Yes. We don't have things as simple. We don't have simple things like insurance. I will say this. It wasn't until I was in my 40s and I had my first kid that I considered life insurance. Never considered it. Never considered myself dying before I had children. So I said, damn, if I die today, what would happen? And it was just a thing of just saying in my mind, I knew average funeral back then was, maybe about $5,000. You could probably get away with $2,500 to $3,000 if you did a cremation and only had a little service. But I'm saying we would rather depend on a GoFundMe than we would to have a life insurance policy. I got whole life insurance policies on both my children. I got actually two of them because I want, if something happens to me, I want them to be okay. I want when they get grown, I want to be able to say, hey, here, you got two whole life insurance policies. You can take loans out against these if you want to start a business or something. And you have this in case something does happen to you, you got this amount to take care and to leave behind for your family. That's just something, but it took me a while to get that type of financial acumen to understand that. And to my parents, they just didn't know, which is why I didn't know. That's just how it is, and that's how we grew up. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to set my children up for a better life. Period. That's my goal right now. What I'm doing with my job, what I'm doing, trying to save money, make money, I'm trying to set my children up to where they'll be in a better position than I was in. My parents did the best they could with what they had, and they left me in the best position they possibly could because they didn't know. And I'm taking it
And,
further, and I'm gonna try to carry the baton. But
and
we
that's
won't do
why
that.
and that's why I was saying about like that new rule, well, so like that new act from California. I'm like, why would I let somebody come stay in my apartment, my house, when I'm literally paying all the bills, and y'all gonna just send me a little check and saying, "Oh, thank you for taking care of this other person who don't want to work, who don't want to do nothing with their lives."
Even what was that in? I think it's in Atlanta where they had this program when they were giving single women, what was it like $1,600 or 800? I think it was $800 a month for 2 years. Number one, what am I gonna do with $800 a month? And if I'm in a situation where I can qualify for this, what am I actually gonna buy? Am I gonna save that $800 a month for 2 years and then go and use it as a down payment for a home? Nope. What Tommy say on his resting on your laurels, someone else's laurels? Nope. Am I gonna take that $800 a month and save it and go and use it to put my child in a private school? Nope. Am I gonna use that $800 a month, save it for 2 years, and then go and build back Black Wall Street? Nope. They won't do that because they know that we're financially irresponsible because men are not in the home. Men think like that. Men think about saying, well, nah, I ain't gonna spend this money on me like that. I'm gonna go ahead and use it for my kids. That's why they
Because
don't want us in the driver's seat. That's why
the
it's
thing,
intentional that when you go to things like child support court, it's built and set up to cripple you financially. It's not, oh, they just being unfair. $900 a month or $1,000 a month. I only get $300 with my. That's by design. And the only way to change is if we get people in office that will change the legislation. Other than that, it is what it is.
because like look at the situation. Like predominantly, like you said, like predominantly black neighborhoods are literally filled with people who, like you said, like kids look up to all these rappers, all these drug dealers, all these people who like literally not doing nothing positive for the community. But hey, but thing is, black people support them. Like think about it, black community will support somebody who's going to jail than somebody who's like, hey, I want to get my life right. Hey, I want to go do this in my life. I want to go get a career. I want to build financially stable. Oh wait, that's risky for you to do.
Yes. Because they won't be, and even when you look at it like this, when you look at why are we so attracted to the basketball player or the athlete, basketball, football, why are we so attracted to the drug dealer? Because those people are the ones that have things. The rappers, they have things. And that's what we have taken, that's what we value. We value stuff first. Now, if you have a lifestyle that's set up to where you can afford red bottoms, you can afford Gucci, you can afford that kind of stuff, that's up to you. Absolutely. This is America, Jack. Last time I checked, you buy what you want. But why is it it's only niggas that will go buy a Gucci belt and not have your own house? Go and buy the new mics that just came out, the 13s, as opposed to having your own car. We will
Hey,
do
I rather
those kind of things. We will then take it a step further and will buy those things for our children. So I can spend thousands of dollars on Gucci, on Nike, and all of this stuff, but I won't actually set my kid up to where I put him in a better school. I won't take that money and put my kid in a better neighborhood. Nope. I know kids right now in the hood wearing Gucci belts, going to the worst school in the fucking city, in their community, and their mamas is the ones that's doing it. My kid gonna
eat,
look good. My son gonna have the best. My son ain't gonna be without us straight. That's what they would rather do. So as
but
opposed to if
hey,
you can afford a $2,000 belt, if you can afford $300 shoes,
you
as
can
opposed to
afford a trip to
taking that money
Miami.
to change your living situation, you gonna take that money and spend it on some shit that they ain't gonna even be able to use or wear in the next year or two.
Hey, you can take your money and go have hot girl summer, but your bill's not paid.
I don't get it. But that's what we do because women are in charge. Let me tell you something. I'm a grown man. I got kids. I got a house. I don't have a pair of Jordans. Could I mismanage my money and go buy them? Yes. I could, but I don't because I don't live that kind of lifestyle yet. The 11s, the 12s, and the 13s, and then the 4s are the coldest Jordans ever. I love them all in all those colors. I would love to have them. If I won the lottery today, I'm getting all the mics in different colors. That's what I'm going to do. I haven't bought a
But
pair of Jordans since I was probably maybe in my early 20s because I can do a lot more money with $300-400 than put it on my feet. And then in 3-4 months, they're going to be cracked and I can't wear them.
hell, even 3 to 4 months, you got another pair coming out.
So I got to get them now so I can be fresh. People look at my motherfucking shoe and mommy. Shout out to my brother Easy. Shout out to my brother Easy. I love that. I love that nigga. That nigga bought me some Air Force, some Air Max. And I said, man, you bought me some gym shoes? He was like, yeah, man. He's a younger cat, but he was like, man, I said, my shoe game ain't shit, is it? He said, it ain't, big bro. He said, but I'm going to help you. And it's like, to me, it's not important. But I get it as to why it's important to younger folks. But he had the money to do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm about what's comfortable. And when my shoes get smooth, that's when I'll get a new pair. I don't wait until
Hell,
the front crack to say, yeah, now I got to give me some new ones. Now I'm going to go. I'm going to wear them till them motherfuckers is down there falling apart. That's just what I
like here,
do.
like here. Personally, me, I go to Foot Locker. I go buy me a pair of Nike shoes for $89. Hell, my girl love me. Even though I go to Walmart and go buy some slippers or something from them.
There it is. It's all about how we prioritize things. And I'll wrap it up and bring it back to this. The reason why I'm talking about this kind of stuff because I'm trying to point out what we care about, what's important to us versus what our government cares about and what they're doing with our tax dollars. We're more concerned about looking good, having the flashiest stuff, riding on 28s, riding box Chevys. We're more concerned about that than we are being concerned about saying, hey, why don't I see what the fuck my government is spending $30 million on? And then when we find out it's for crack kits, we say nothing.
But the thing is, that
go ahead with your last
I'm
point.
I'm gonna say this before I get off. But the thing is, it's like personally, I don't even care about none of that stuff because at the end of the day, those are material stuff. That that pair, $300 pair of Jordans, hell, I could put that on my rent. Hell, I could take that and literally say, hey, you know what? I could go to the stock market, put in by like $100, get some stocks in it. That go last. Hell, I could sell that later on for even more. The pair of Jordans I have, the pair of Jordans I don't have, that's probably gonna last me, like you said, maybe 2-3 months tops. And financially, I'm in the hole.
Yep. I'll rather spend $300 at fucking Sam's Club and at fucking Costco before I spend $300 on a pair of gym shoes.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you,
I'm just telling you, I would rather do that than I just have to look at what's gonna serve my family best first. That's
yeah,
just my priority. Now, will I spend some money on some shit? Best believe when I
I'm going.
travel right. When I go places, I like to go to the best places. I do. I know how to live high on the hog. When I buy the things that I like, I buy them. My guns, I like the best. I will spend money on that type of shit. But for something that's gonna wear out in a few months, that's on my feet, that'll be in the rain, in the snow. Well, it ain't no snow really too much in Texas no more. But in the rain and all that kind of stuff that's gonna get wet, get scuffed because I'm walking around and I'm working. No, I'm not doing it.
Hell, I took my last $150. I mean, brought groceries for my apartment.
There you go. There you go. Well, I appreciate you for calling in, bro. I'm gonna get to this next person because we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna try to end at 2 hours, so we got about another 20 minutes left. We're gonna get
But
on up out of here. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
but Brian, you know it's always good to call in, man. Trust me, man. Hey, I watch a lot of your shows, man. Trust me, listening to you, I literally find that I literally changed my way of thinking from, hey, I just want a whole bunch of nice shit to a point like, hey, I need to be financially stable to keep my life going, and I don't have to be back at my mama's house.
For sure, my man. Well, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. My man Jason, what's happening, Captain? Talk to me, brother.
Man, first I'd like to say love you, brother. Happy birthday to little man. We all know who we talking about.
Yes, sir.
Glad he got to where he's supposed to be. Thank you for helping him get there. And mom as well. Mom as well. I ain't gonna forget about mom.
Yes, sir.
But a lot of these people here, and I don't understand. A poor man spends his money on materialistic things that have no value. And that's why they're broke.
Yep.
The government does not care about any breathing human on this earth. And these people don't understand that. They think, like you said earlier, and as Tommy has said as well, the government is not here to help you.
Man, dude.
You're a battery.
And my thing is, and I'm gonna even say this in the government's defense, they shouldn't. We should be the ones saying, hey, we gonna watch how y'all spend our money. We should be the ones saying that. I understand that y'all here trying to get money and take our money and do what y'all want to do with it. But no, we're going to watch you spend this money, and we're going to tell you where to spend this money. And if you don't do what we say, you'll be out of here. That's the reason why the Second Amendment is in place. That very same person that we voted for, that very same person that we elected, if they don't do what the fuck we want them to do, we take them out of office by any means necessary.
But Brian, let me explain something to you, brother. And I'm gonna have to go against what you just said, because we don't live in a democracy, we live in a republic. And if you look up the definition of a republic, we choose people to be in place to make things good for us. That's the simple definition of it. The United States is a republic, not a democracy. Now, if you notice, the places that are democracies that are less than the United States, Europe, like England and Germany, countries like us will always go in there and destroy the leaders, because the leaders are acting from what the people are telling them to do. Here in the United States, we're a republic. You pledge of allegiance to the flag. Remember that?
Yep.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands. To the republic for which it stands. We have to, like, and I know you know this, and I'm not trying to.
Go ahead, talk, brother. Go ahead, talk.
Words have meaning, and we have to take these words serious. You do not vote for the president. You vote for your local people. Your local people in turn vote for you. That's where you give up your right to vote, is when you're voting for your local people. And I understand there's a process. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But this process was put in place for a reason. When you vote for your local people don't have to vote for who you want to be in office. They don't. If I can't tell you the truth, and I can't prove this as a fact, look at the last election. Look at the election where my man in Florida, the issue happened with Bush in Florida. Look at that election and understand that we don't vote for the people in government. We vote for the locals, and then they in turn vote for those other people. So the government is not here to help you. They're here to make you out of a battery. And if you continue to want to be a battery, because just like you and just like me and thousands of other people that believe in the Second Amendment, see, we're stacking and loading for that one day. They say January 6th was a bad day. No, January 6th was a day where the American people said, we're not going to stand for this and we're going to put our foot down. I know some people died, but you know what? They were there to protect what they were supposed to do, and they were there to do their job. And I understand. I get it. But January 6th was a day that people said, wait, we're not going to go through this anymore, and we're going to take a stand. Now, it didn't work out right because the Electoral Congress, or whatever you want to call them, idiots that we don't know who they are, they chose the president. We didn't. Now, I'm not telling you not to vote. I'm not going to do that. That's not my place.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that. When it comes to the process and the way that things are supposed to be and the way that things are in reality,
yes,
in America, there's a difference. That what we say as far as our articles of our republic and our constitution and all of those things, they are only a framework that is followed to a certain degree. Because the way that things are supposed to happen, the way that things are supposed to be, if our government is not doing what we want them to do, in the Constitution, it literally says, hey, man, well, I'm paraphrasing, hey, man, if they're not doing what you want them to do, you have the right and the authority to remove them. That's why you have to carry arms. That's why you have the right to bear arms. Just for that purpose, because they didn't want it to be like it was in England. They didn't want it to be like it was, where they can say, well, they can tell you what to do and tell you how to do it, and you don't even have the guns to actually go up against them. So when we talk about to say, well, for my government and my expectations of my government, yeah, I vote for local politicians to represent me and my community and are on a national level as a nation. But they are there not to do what the hell they want to do. They're there to do my bidding. Now, how that actually translates, they can get bought and paid for by anybody. They go to the highest bidder today. We have things in place where it's supposed to be that way, but what happens when a pharmaceutical company lobbies for whatever it is they want? When they actually, why is it that our government can actually have it to where people can pay to support their campaigns for our officials to go and do their bidding?
I agree with you, bro.
Well, I'm saying I say that to say, well, what the idea of what America is and what America's supposed to be and what it actually is, it's two different things. America and freedom, that's an idea that we had, and that sparked a nation to become something different than what was already going around. And the fact that we're in that position now to where we have certain fail-safes in place, they still don't get followed. Everybody and their mama know that there's no way in hell Joe Biden could not only get the most votes of all time in an election, but I mean, he not only got the most votes, but it was the highest election turnout ever during a pandemic. Ain't nobody in their right mind gonna say, yeah, that makes sense. That was a good one. People just came out because they were so mad at Trump. That's bullshit. There were more people that were in support of what Trump was doing, in support of Donald Trump, than there were people that was there for the last election. So where were all these people at 1 election ago, 2 elections ago, 3 elections ago, 5 elections ago? It's nonsense to think that, but that's just what it is.
Well, Brian, I want to say this, and I'm going to say this again. I personally didn't have a problem with Trump. Only problem I had was with the tax thing he put in, because that was the first time I've ever paid taxes in my life. But besides that, the bigger picture was better. And It doesn't matter how many people voted for whoever. The electoral Congress still picked who they wanted to pick. They don't have to vote for what the majority of that state votes for. And if they don't vote for it, it's like a $40 or $50 fine. You got to read that, not you and personally, but
Yeah.
people need to understand what the electoral Congress is and why they were put in place. And I keep saying this to people, you don't vote for the president. Stop thinking that you vote for the president. Tommy said before, if 5 people vote on one side and nobody votes on the other, we're going to get those 5 votes. But with the electoral Congress is different. 5 people can vote for one side and nobody votes for the other side. Then the electoral Congress can come in and vote for the other side on 10 people and take the place of the presidency. So when I totally agree with what you're saying, and I'm not even going to put up a stance on you. I'm not going to do a weaver on you. I'm going to just leave that one alone. So, I understand what people are doing. And as far as this crack package that's coming together that this guy is doing, I don't want to be negative about this, but if enough people in our Congress vote for it, that's going to come to pass and it's going to happen. And what's going to happen is they're going to start ruining people's lives. And that's what they want. They want the batteries. They want more control over people. And I'm going to tell you now that $30 million, what is it, $30 million taxpayer, we're going to pay for that.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
We are not going to be able to stop that. We don't have enough power to stop that because we allow these people to get up in the Senate and Congress and make our moves for us because we chose them to be there, even though they went in with good intentions toward us. Their intentions weren't good toward what they were going to do. They went in with good intentions toward us. They lied to the American public to get what they want, because you have to understand, Brian, they're making money.
Absolutely.
Not only are they making salaries, but they're making that side money like you spoke about earlier.
Absolutely.
They're making a whole lot of money
Yes.
on the side.
Yes.
And they don't care. And what's going to happen is, I wanted to say, I've been in black flight for 17 years of my life. And black flight is just like white flight. I don't want to be around y'all, not you in particular.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to be around that. So I've been black flight all my life. I don't do business with black businesses. I don't shop in stores where there's more than 3 cashiers of black. I'm walking out. I don't do it because I don't want to deal with the issues. But see, what they're trying to do is you got the lower income people that are having these most of the main issues. It's not the rich people because they take care of their people. It's the lower income people that have to depend on a service to get them straight. Because again, like you and Tommy said earlier, there is no family in the black community. There are no families. There may be. Let me take that back. There are not a lot of black families in the black community.
Correct.
They're very little and very minute.
And let me just
damn near like a pink elephant.
Let me say what right there to make a point, because there's some people that'll probably watch this if they ain't watching it now saying it, but they'll watch this on the replay and they'll say this. See, I think that's a false narrative because I know plenty of black people that are families that live well, that are doing good for themselves, but we don't talk about that. You're right. However, there's not an overwhelming amount. There are not more families intact in the black community, living in the black communities that are predominantly black, than there are broken homes. So
Correct.
why would I talk about the few when I'm looking at the many that are show a complete imbalance? It ain't 50-50, it ain't 49-50, it's not. When you got 1 out of 4 black women that are getting married, and when you got 70% of the time women are filing for divorce, that lets you know that broken families are enlarged, the majority, by a large degree in our community. That's
Correct.
the problem. That's the thing that we don't want to acknowledge and look at, because if we do, then now we hold ourselves responsible and accountable to identify and try to figure out how do we change that. But when we don't want to look at that piece to say, well, man, we so concerned about black women being empowered, we so concerned about the feminist movement and women empowered and women getting this and women getting that. But the problem with that is women ain't building shit. Women ain't putting shit together. Women are not. They'll talk, well, you got Madam C.J. Walker. Okay. Well, it was a woman that made this one thing. Yeah, compared to the men that made tens of thousands of tens of millions of other things. Why would we want to even try to look at that small thing to say this is the outlier or this is the one exception to that rule, as opposed to looking at the majority of it and say, well, we know for a fact that men are the ones that build society. Men are the ones that do the heavy lifting when it comes to putting shit together. Women are good at managing what we built. We'll say, hey, we build it, and this is how I want you to manage it. This is what I want you to do with it, to check this, do that, and clean that. Yes, they're good at doing that, but we're the ones that build. Why would we not want those that build to be empowered to build? Just so you can have a handful that's 5-star chicks? So you can have a handful that's boss bitches? You got more motherfuckers looking at OnlyFans and women being on OnlyFans as a fucking career. Not a job or a hustle, as a career. Oh, I'm an
Yep.
OnlyFans model. You have more people looking at that as a thing to do, as opposed to saying, well, why don't I build this business, have this restaurant, have this company that does this or does that, this HVAC company that employs several people for decades, for years, as opposed to me getting online to cock my legs open and finger myself or to fuck random dudes for tips. Why would we look at that as a viable option? It's a lot of women that's out here making their way and making money. It's the men that ain't on the level. It's the men that ain't got their shit together. Bullshit. For every woman you can find out that's an OnlyFans model, I can find you 5 or 6 other niggas that's fucking barbers that's making just as much as they making, or close
Well,
to it.
I agree with you on it. Like in the government, I've been in the government more than 30 years, and they only put black women in HR positions to hire other people. They put black women in management positions. They put
Yep,
black women all over the government to control the male population within the government. I
exactly.
see it. I see it today. My supervisor is a female, and
There it
she don't
is.
know shit. She knows absolutely nothing.
And that's what they
And
want.
she's a good test taker, and that's why she got sergeant.
Yes.
And she don't know shit.
Yep.
Excuse my language. She carries a gun.
Yep.
Do you think for 1 second that I'm going to trust her judgment under stress? You have to be kidding me.
You've seen the videos I've done where you have female officers that can't even assist the officers, the male officers that's in a struggle, that's fighting, that's trying to arrest somebody. They
No,
can't even assist. They
they
can't even
cause
assist.
more
And if they
havoc.
don't, yeah, and if they don't assist, they usually wind up making the wrong choice and they wind up shooting somebody that they didn't have to shoot. But
Not only that,
we
but
want to
you
empower
got
black female police officers. We want to empower female police officers. To what end? To where we have a police force full of women that can't do shit, that get their ass whooped when they come across the right swole ass nigga. A 6'5" nigga come and knock a bitch out. What we supposed to do? That's terrible that he did that to that fellow officer. That's the job. Cause that same
look,
male police officer that get knocked the fuck out, y'all don't give a shit about him. Y'all be like, damn, that's the job though, nigga. That's what you signed up for. Right. Same thing for that female. She getting paid the same amount, but she'll even get preference when it comes to rank. She'll get, you got a motherfucker that can't bust a grape that's gonna be my boss telling me how to do my job. And if we get into it, she can't even come help me.
Yeah, that's really how. That's reality. That's truth.
And I can die because of it. Not, oh,
Yeah.
well, I'll do better next time. No, I cannot go home to my
No,
family.
you can die.
I will die based on the capabilities of this female officer. And we're okay with that.
Yeah, it's, I'm going to tell you, man, within the government and law enforcement itself, they just have people in the wrong places, in the wrong positions, because dude, it's scary.
Yes.
She'll ask me, hey, let's go walk around the building. I'll say, no, we're not walking around the building. You can go walk around the building. I'm not walking around the building. I'm not going outside the front door.
Yep.
Not going to do it. You can go do it. Now, if you order me to do it, I'm just going to have to take that right up, and you just let me know how many days I can stay at the house.
Right.
Because I'm not going out there with you. Because you can't help me. I can only help you. You can't help me. You cannot defend me. Because you're going to open up your mouth to some emotional crap, and you're going to get us jammed up into a simple of a person asking, where can I park? Stop telling people and stop talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm not here to enforce the law. I'm not here to tell you where to park or how to park or can you park. Read the signs. She'll sit there and give an explanation. So one day she did that. Just quick example. Some guy walked up to her and said, hey, can I park here? She's like, yeah, you can park, boom, boom, boom. So then he walks away. There's a dog in the car. And it's summertime. So I said, now you're responsible to make sure that dog doesn't die. Because you just told that guy he can park there. And he's going to come back and say, you said that I can park here.
Yep.
Not knowing the whole story. But you're responsible for that damn dog right there. Yep. So you might want to stand here and watch that dog and make sure that dog doesn't die. Little simple, really simple things.
Yes.
That females that are in management positions, they can't handle.
Yes.
I read the Bible. I read the Bible. 1 Timothy 1:12. Read it. Women are not to give men orders. Men don't follow women. Women follow men. 1 Timothy 1:2. Read it. I post that everywhere I can post it.
And take it a step further.
You're not in charge of me.
Take it a step further. Let's just say you not religious. Let's just say you don't believe it. The Bible is the white man's tool to control black people. Okay, fine. How about this?
Right.
Look at the biology. Who's physically stronger? Men. Who's more capable to do the heavy lifting with things? Men. Who over time are the ones that establish infrastructure, that establish order? Men. They've always done it. So why would you think that a woman can do what a man does when you can clearly see what men have done over time? Look at the factual data. In today's world, if enough women wanted to, they could build their own thing, whatever it is. Whether it's a city, a town, a community, whatever it is, they could build it. Nobody's going to interfere with that. Nobody's going to stop them from doing that. And they won't do it, will they? No, they won't. And I got to acknowledge Annie in the comment section. She said, yeah, I can't lie. I'm glad I was deactivated from the DPD. I guess that's the police department. I don't know if it's Dallas, Delaware, or Denver. But she said, because you right, I got to shoot. Keeping it 100. I can't let a man manhandle me. You're right, because you're going to die. Once that man gets his hands on you, Detroit, got you. Ooh, shit. Once that man gets his hands on you, it's a wrap. Plain and simple.
Brian, the government has doubled down and tripled down that women are not equal to men. The government has done this. And let me tell you how the government's done this. When you turn 18, what do you have to do as a man, Brian?
You got to register with the what is it? The damn it, the place where you got to
The
go
draft
to
board.
be enlisted. Yeah, selective service. Yeah.
Do women have to do that?
I don't know. They don't have to do that, do they?
No, they don't. So they're not equal to
Wow, I
men.
did not know that. I didn't know that women
So when
didn't have to
people,
do it.
right. So when women keep saying that they want to be equal to men, the government says you're not equal to men because you don't have to sign up for the draft. So shut your
Damn.
mouth.
Yep.
Shut your mouth.
Yep.
You don't, can't, and won't be drafted. I can. So you're not equal to me by any means necessary. And your government says that. Now in Israel, it's a different thing. Females have to sign up for the military.
I think isn't it over there where they got to like everybody got to do some time in the military? You got to do like 2 years or something like
Everybody
that.
has to
Everybody
do
got to do it.
time in the
Yeah,
military.
that's right. Yep.
In some countries that I can't name them all right now, but here in the United States, women are not equal to men. So let's stop the game and let's stop the madness. Anytime a woman says that, just say, did you register for the
Wow. Yeah,
draft
I didn't know
when
that.
you turned 18?
I
No,
think,
you didn't.
and my thing would
I
be
did.
this. I when you talking about just the equality part, let me see a woman walking a beam on a skyscraper. Then we can talk
Not
equality.
going to see it.
Let me see a woman hauling that fire hose up them steps, and she the one that's carrying it, that's holding that hose down, and let me see those things. If you saying that we're equal,
Not going to see it. The
that's
small example was the UPS thing where the girl was complaining about
yep,
picking
yep,
up stuff or
yep,
whatever company it was.
yep. That was
The male
UPS.
complained about it and the
Yep.
male got terminated.
They wanted him to do her work, to do the work that she couldn't physically do. They wanted him to pick up the slack, and he like, well, wait a minute. If she's getting paid the same amount I'm getting paid, why shouldn't she be, have the same expectation to do the same amount of work that I got to do? Why would I want to work with a woman who can't move as many boxes or stack as many boxes as I can in an hour's time, and then you turn around and expect me to stack those boxes that she can't stack in that same amount of time?
You're absolutely right. Somebody said in the comment, starting this year, women have to sign up for selective services. I never saw that.
And if it is,
Is that
then it's about 70 years too goddamn late. I'm
it's a
just
couple of
saying.
100 years too damn late.
Right. They should have been doing that. I didn't know that though. But it's like those
No,
things that we
I've never heard of that. I'm in the government. I've never heard of that, but Paul, okay,
about
whatever.
goddamn time. I mean, the
Why
point
wasn't they
is that with all
why
of the
wasn't they
things
doing that years ago?
with all of the things that we've afforded to women just for the simple fact that they are women, why would that not be something that would instantly be, hey, y'all got to start doing this? Well, y'all got to start doing that too. Why isn't there ever a conversation to say, well, if you're going to have the equal opportunity and the equal rights, and you're going to actually have it to where we have to legally do this, you have to abide by all of the other rules that men already are abiding by. Why would that not be a thing? If I got to carry a 80-pound dummy up 10 flights of steps and I got to do it within a minute and 45 seconds, if you want the same job I got and you want the same pay I got, you should have to do it too. Well, I'm a woman. I can't. Exactly. Just like when they talked about trying to get women into the NFL. Why? Because they should be able to play in the NFL. Y'all don't give a shit about football. And why would we put somebody into a sport, a contact sport, where they can't deliver the same type of contact as men, and they can't take or absorb the same type of contact that men can absorb? Why would you want to do that? And why would we try to afford it to where you can do that? It makes no sense.
Right.
But that's the thing. And just to wrap it up, that's the thing that we have to look at when it comes to everything. Politics, community stuff, whatever the case may be. We need to always look and ask the right questions. Go ahead, I'll give you the last word, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna read about that because they said it was a draft. It's a draft legislation. I don't see where it was confirmed.
Yeah, and that's
So it's
fine.
just a
And just like
draft,
Eugene said, that still doesn't disprove the point. The point is that it's gone
right?
on this long and they haven't had to do it. Whereas
Right,
we
right.
got to do
So
it.
yeah,
There's
that
no,
that
we had no choice in the matter. We have to do it. So that's the whole point
yeah,
behind it. So yeah, if that is correct or if it isn't, it still doesn't disprove the point of this saying like you have to do it. Men have had to do it for generations. Women have not. Even if
right,
they just started today or if they're gonna start in 2025, it don't matter. There's
right,
been generations of men that have had to do it.
right.
Yes,
And
John
you know,
Costello said it. Selective equality.
I'll go with what the young man says, and that's fine. But just to close my end up, these crack packages that they're going to give out, you know, on one hand, I want them to because hopefully they'll all die,
They won't.
and we I know they won't
They
die,
like
but
roaches. They
hopefully we'll
survive
get
them
rid of
nukes,
them.
baby.
We'll, we'll get rid of a lot of them that way. But you know, it's kind of sad that the government has to step in to help with a personal issue dealing with individuals within our country and not deal with the country's issues at hand, the bigger issues that the country needs to
Right.
deal with. It's a
Exactly.
shame that our government chooses to go with the social media impact of their actions because it doesn't the country can't work properly that way. But either way, however it goes, that legislation is probably going to pass. But I hope that the balances of the government keeps everything in order like it has been for the last hundreds of years,
Yeah.
so that we don't lose what we've worked for, what we've gained as American citizens. And you know, it is what it is. I just hope I can retire in the next year or so,
Oh, I
and
hope you
that's all
can.
that really counts for me.
I hope you can too, brother. Indeed. I hope you enjoy every day of that retirement too. You
You
deserve it,
better
man.
believe it.
Thank you, brother. I
That's
appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
Thank you. Love you too, Brian. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, bro. Later. I guess my thing would be it just wrapping things up. It's one of those things that you got to look at it like this. We have such an opportunity. Let me try to be a patriot here. We have such an opportunity as a country to do the right thing and to do what's best for the majority, for the group. And it's, to me, it's disheartening and it's sad that we don't take full advantage of the opportunity because we have people in place and we have certain aspects of our government in place that's just selfish to the degree to where they only want to get what they can get and to hell with everyone else and everything else. Thank you, Derek. Shout out to Derek My hit your boy with $10. Says great show. And shout out to everybody. Let me see. I know some people hit that cash out. Let me shout y'all out too. But I guess I would want us as people to say, hey, if we're gonna do this thing called America, we're gonna do this thing called the USA, we've got to get out of the idea and out of the mindset of thinking that it's all about just me and my group, and it needs to start being about us and what's best for everyone. Does our country have a drug problem? Yes, but our country has a violence problem. Our country has a morals problem. Our country has a values problem. Our country has a lot of problems. America is still quite young. But the thing is, we as the people, or we the people, we have to govern ourselves and we have to make sure that we're overseeing our government. We need to be governing ourselves, and the same morals and values that we use to govern ourselves, we need to govern our government. And when we can't do that, when we have been stripped of that power and that ability, then that's when we need to, that's when we need to take our government back under control by any means necessary. Do I agree with what they did on the 6th of January last year? To some degree. But it was unorganized. It was something to where we just did something just for the sake of doing something, and it didn't work out for us. We have to realize where our power lies, and we have to realize what's important for us, and that's what we have to put at the forefront. And when we see those things that don't support that, that's when we go after it. When you see $20 billion going to Pakistan for transgender research in Pakistan, that's when we need to say, hold the goddamn phone. When we see $30 million for crack kits, that's when we need to say, hold the fuck on. Hold up, stop, pause, whatever we got to do. That's when we have to do that. Because if we don't, we get what we get. And whatever happens to us, and it's our fault. That's my thing. I'm going to do what's best for me and my family, but I would love to be a part of doing what's best for everyone. I would love to be that person to say, hey, we're going to help each other. We're going to watch each other's back. We're going to take care of each other, because you know what that is? That's real community. That's real community. When it's about us as opposed to just me, that's community. When it's about doing what's right and being righteous, that's community. That's community. That's what we need to give a shit about. Not just this one person that's having a problem, but all the people that's having a problem. We have to make that our priority and our focus to where we're at least willing to call it out, as opposed to not saying nothing and letting it go. Shout out to Mark, hit your boy up with a donation of $10. Thank you so much. And my man Billy Goat, appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that donated on the PayPal. Shout out to everybody that donated on the Cash App. Shout out to Carcino. Shout out to Chef Talk. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. Shout out to Jason Gunn. Shout out to my cousin Corey Clay. Shout out to everybody else. Oh, yeah, I know I ain't shit. But I just want to say thank you, man. Shout out to my man Deluxe 24/7. Shout out to Evelyn LaGraza. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Hit your boy with $20. And my man Deluxe hit me with $5. Shout out to Hussein. Hit your boy up with 24 or some foreign money. But hey, I hope it translates. That's what's up. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that gave me this opportunity, that stopped by, click the like button, click the subscribe button. This is your first time watching me. Give me your thoughts. Hit me up in the comment section. And last but not least, shout out to my boy Tommy Sotomayor. I love you. I hope you're traveling safe, brother. Until next time, peace, and I'm out. And I got to pee. God damn. Oh, my thing ain't working. My channel promo ain't working. I'm just going to have to end the show. But thank you guys so much. I love y'all. Oh, Jason just hit that donate button too. Let me see what you got for me, brother. I'll call it out before I get out of here. Let's see, where is it? Where you at? There you go. My man Jason hit your boy with $50. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And shout out to the Canadian truckers. Y'all out there watching. Hey, man. I salute y'all, man. Y'all keep fighting the good fight. That goddamn Justin Trudeau, he is trying to butt fuck y'all with no Vaseline and not even a kiss. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace, and I'm out.